Where have you been? Where are you coming from?
Flew in yesterday from Israel, here in New York for a couple days, and then heading to Philly to do some events, and then coming back next week to New York to do a big event.
Amazing. Okay, so did I get that whole intro right? Did you grow up in the United States?
Yes.
Tell me about that and how you met your husband.
So I was born and raised in Philadelphia. I'm the oldest of 3 children, and my husband and I met at a Jewish singles retreat. It was down in Orlando. We left the retreat. We were each dating other people.
Oh, wow.
Then we broke up. A couple months later, we started dating. You're not going to believe this. We dated for 3 weeks. We got engaged, and 4 months later, we got married. And 20 years later, we're still married.
Wow. Well, how did you know that quick?
Right. That's the big question. How do you have clarity, and how do you know that it's your person? So that, to me, that's like the essence of the work that I do is knowing who your person is. So I have different criteria that I run people through. We want to know the qualities that they're looking for, the personality that they want. We want to know about the fears, the things that trigger them, or the things that they really value. That's what's very important to them. And we need to measure that against what works for us. Who am I? What do I want? Who are you? And how do you match or mismatch me?
Right.
And by going through a whole process of what I would call soulmate clarity, which is my signature program for how you know, that's how people tune into, the messages, what my head is thinking, what my heart is feeling, but it's things you can't see.
Right.
You can't see your thinking. You can't see your feelings. You can experience them, but to visually represent it, to understand what's going on in your relationship and make a decision, yes, you're my person, no, you're not, it's very difficult to do. So I have a system that you can actually see what that, you can see your thinking.
Right. That's amazing. So I have so many questions about that. But first, how did you get into matchmaking?
I think I was always a networker, a connector, a bridge between people. And I grew up secular. And so in the beginning, I would just try to set up my friends. It was kind of just something that came very naturally and intuitively to me. And then when I became observant in my mid-20s, I had 2 little kids at home. And I started out as a matchmaker on an online dating website. And the website only has matchmakers. And on that website, you can just be set up by a matchmaker, or you just sit and wait. There's no swiping. You don't look for yourself. And so I started to set people up that way. And I was like, ooh, this is good. This is fun. And then I would call them. I would coach them. I would mentor them. For me, it was a whole process. It wasn't just being what I would call an introducer and sticking 2 people together and going, whoop, I hope for the best.
Right.
But actually helping them navigate their relationship.
How do you get that pool of people? Because I've had matchmakers come to me before, and the reason I've always been hesitant is because I know that people that are men, let's say, that are going to the matchmaker pretty much are single for a reason, right? They have probably not fixed those patterns. And the reason why I may be still single is because I haven't fixed the right patterns, or I haven't found the right person. But, when people are going to you and telling you what they want, isn't that sort of part of the problem? Because a lot of us have a bad picker. I know I have a bad picker. So how would you know when to kind of not look at what they're telling you and when you know better? You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's a hard balance, right? My internal judgment, my gut instinct, I like your language of a bad picker versus having somebody else make a decision for you.
Yeah.
So I first want to say, I don't think that anybody going to a matchmaker or looking for somebody in the world themselves, there's something wrong. Everybody has stuff, right? We've got the good stuff. Yay, that's what we love about each other. We've got the other stuff. That's the stuff that you're like, okay, I'll take it. It comes with. It's not what I love.
Yeah.
But I don't think that inherently people, this one has a problem, that's their problem. If they fix this, then they can get married. No, we all have our own story. We have our own situation. And either my story is going to match and be okay with you, or it's not necessarily going to match and be okay with you. And therefore, I need to just be open to what the possibilities are. So working with a matchmaker, to me, actually levels it up, because whatever's been going on, if somebody's not in a good place, we'll help them to, look better, feel better, think better. If somebody needs therapy or support, they get it. Not from us, but they go outside and get it, because we say, hey, you're not in a good place to receive a match. So we want you to be, and let us help you to get there by making a referral and getting you the services you need.
So why, for anyone listening, why should somebody use a matchmaker as opposed to go going online and figuring it out themselves. We're in like this swipe culture that everybody is online now. I don't really go to bars and sit around and wait to meet people. And, you know, for me, I like online dating because you can tell if you have chemistry without knowing if you have chemistry with what they look like.
Right.
I really love if somebody gives good phone or gives good text is what I like to say, right? Because then you can see if they banter with you, if they're available, if they're real, if they get your humor. And I think it's great to kind of fall for the personality before you see if you're annoyed with the way they hold their fork.
I love that.
You do? Oh, good. So I love online dating. It works for me, but I'm single, so it doesn't completely work because, as you say in your show, you know, all the people you date are not working until you find your one, right? So it's obviously not working for me. So tell people why you think a matchmaker is better than us looking ourselves.
Well, I'm not sure all the time that you need a matchmaker. You need somebody to be the matchmaker, but do you need a professional matchmaker is the question. So we also have things like a course called Be Your Own Matchmaker, which means how about if I just teach you everything that I know, right? You maybe say you have a bad picker, right? But what if I could help you to actually have a good picker? If I could give you 2 or 3 tips or ways of identifying your person. It's kind of like having the database, the Rolodex, you know, your apps, whatever you're doing. But if you knew how to search with my eyes, you'd probably get better results. And then you might not need to work with me. You can be your own matchmaker. Somebody would want and need a matchmaker when they don't want to do it themselves. It's like a headhunter. Like, I could get myself a job, but I'm tired. I don't want to put out my dating profile. I don't want to swipe. I have dating fatigue. It's annoying. The whole process is irritating. It's like a second job, which it is. And I just don't want to do it anymore. Somebody just do me a favor. You know what? Let me have my matchmaker who's my PR person. You send me on a date, right? I'll get ready and I'll show up and you do all the effort. So when you don't want to do the effort on your own, hire a matchmaker. If you're a DIY, I can handle it, then we'll teach you how to be your own matchmaker and give you better tools and skills.
Right. Got it.